Hey guys, so before we actually get into the video, I saw this and I see this every so often, and I would like to know your opinion on this. So this is a apparently a tweet, or not a tweet, a text. Um, Big dicks in his brother's bum, but then they correct it to cats. And the person says, "What? Which word is supposed to be cat?" I've looked at this so many times and I cannot figure out where cat would go, where it would make sense. So is it cat dicks in brother's bum? Is it big cats in his brother's bum? Is it big dicks in his brother's cat? Big dicks in his cat's brother's bum? I mean, no matter how you put it, it's gonna sound, you know, it's bad. I think some people, big cat in his brother's bum, big dicks in his brother's cat, big dicks in his cat bum. I mean, big cat in his brother's bum, big dicks in his brother's cat. Like, no matter how you slice it, it's always going to be big dicks in cat bum, big dicks in cat brother's bum, big dick, big dick's cat in brothers in cat his brother's. So if anyone can figure out where cat is supposed to be put, I'd love to know. Anyway, I haven't talked about, well, actually, I talked about my life a little bit ago when I said I found a new job finally after like 8 months. Technically only 5 months, because 3 of those months, I was led to believe that I still had a job, taking care of June, when I actually didn't. And the only reason I found out after 3 months is because I asked the person directly, and she's like, "Oh well, a financial issue came up," and it's like, "Well, why didn't you tell me this when it happened? Why did you let me for 3 months believe that I had a job still?" It's like, do you know how much money I was spending a month? About $1,200 a month, 800 alone just for food. I'm a big guy. I was spending about $200 a month or a week just on food. Had I known that I didn't have a job anymore, I would have, done what I'm doing now, surviving on ramen or just not eating. And that $800 could have went down to, oh, I don't know, like 50. So take away the 3 months that I didn't know that I didn't have a job anymore. In this economy, it only took me 5 months to find a job. So you're like, "Oh, John, how's the new job going after all? It took you so long to find it. How's it going?" It's a job. You know, I mean, there's the benefit of free food sometimes, but very rare. But interacting with customers is interesting. The other, was it yesterday? It was the uh afternoon rush, and you had two guys come in wanting everything on it, everything on the sub. They wanted everything, meaning like all the veggies. So onions, pickles, lettuce, tomato, jalapenos, banana peppers, pickles, cucumber. And keep in mind the bread is like, that wide. And then I had to not only get all of this stuff on it, but then you have to fold it to be able to wrap it. And not only did one guy get it, his friend did the same thing. And keep in mind, I'm still new, which luckily for me, despite the fact that, apart from that slight setback, I still kept up with the rush. Despite the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing or what the sandwiches consist of, I still kept up, made the orders correctly, got them wrung out, and got them the hell out. And I did this for about 2 hours straight. Like, I was slicing pepperoni, right? I was supposed to slice pepperoni. By the time we were done and I actually got back to the pepperoni, it was sweating. When you leave like pepperoni or any kind of meat like that out, you get the grease and all that finally coming out when it, starts getting hot. Yeah, it was at that point because it had been sitting out for so long because I didn't have a chance to get back to it because of the afternoon rush. And yet, I did it. I guess this old bag of bones isn't as slow as it thought. I'm gonna do that. I don't want to. I don't want to keep looking at that. Um, let's see. Let's see more pleasure for you guys because maybe you guys don't like Hu Tao. Let's see what we got. We could do Farina. We could do Tenshukaku. We could do um. Let's go to Liyue Harbor. Lantern Right. Let's go to Liyue Harbor. Liyue Harbor is always beautiful during Lantern Right. But yeah. Yeah, the pepperoni was sweating by the time I got to it. So, but yeah, the manager was it was her first day back. She had surgery, like gastral like bypass surgery and uh that kind of thing. Lost like 75 pounds and stuff like that. So it was her first day back after a couple months or something. And yeah, so she came back, had to train me, which wasn't the hard part, but she came in, nothing was prepped. Like we ran out of tomato, we ran out of pickles, we pretty much all the veggies we ran out of because no one had it prepped. No, there was none prepped at all. We went in the bread for the bread. There was maybe three, like each rack or tray has like 10 things of bread on it. So we only had about 30 bread left. So I ended up making just one white bread. One of them was wheat, and then I think I made like 20 urban cheese. Or no, I made 10 herb and 20 Italian, 20 Italian herb, and then there was the last tray was the urban cheese, which that didn't end up great because whatever happened with the bread in the oven or whatever, it's not rising the way it's supposed to. So I was like, maybe you should get the machine fixed because obviously there's something wrong with the oven if it's not rising properly. But then we had the ice guy, or not the ice guy, the maintenance guy. He was in there all day fixing the soda machine, so no one could get drinks. It's like, oh, you can get a bottled drink if you want. They're like, no, that's okay. Um, but I had a girl come in and she ordered what was it, BMT, the ultimate BMT, which is an Italian sub. And I'm like, oh, okay. What kind of cheese do you want on that? And she's like, American. And I'm like, I said, as an Italian, my ancestors would be very, very upset with me if I put American cheese on an Italian sub. I would recommend provolone. I didn't say it mean like that, but yeah, I just kind of made a joke how my ancestors would be very, very upset with me. Um, and then I had another guy, and of course she laughed. She understood it was a joke before, and we were like, "Oh my god, it's so unprofessional." It's called a fucking joke. People are allowed to joke even at work, and she clearly knew it was a joke because she was laughing along with me as well. Okay, it's not like she was, "Oh, I'm never coming." No, she was laughing. She could clearly tell it was a joke, but when she thought about it, she's like, "Yeah, that does make more sense." An Italian sub, you're gonna have provolone or mozzarella, which, funnily enough, we don't have at all. Like you'd never have provolone or mozzarella there. But then another dude came in and he said something. Forgot what kind of stuff. I think he was a hot shot, which I think was formerly the spicy Italian. And I can't remember what he said he wanted on it, but I was like, you know what I recommend? You know what I recommend? The garlic aioli. I said, you know the garlic butter from Papa John's? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's like that, but like a million times better. He's like, okay, I'll give it a try then. I'm like, upselling bitches. No, it's not upselling if it's a sauce that you can put on the sandwich. Um, but yeah, that if ever anyone's tried that garlic aioli, oh my god, it is so good. It is so freaking good. Um, But yeah, I mean, I think well, say that, but you know, my one of my first days there, I was training with the district manager, and we went in, and there was like this huge bag, and had like, I don't know, 10 subs in it. It had subs, cookies. It was like basically like a catering type thing. And whoever ordered it never came in. They canceled, and so she was like, "Do you want to take this home with you?" She's like, "You can't take the cookies or the chips, but you can take the subs with you." So for like a day or so, I had like 7 6-inch subs in the refrigerator, along with like 5 6 Diet Cokes. If you were seeing me within the past couple of days drinking Diet Coke, that's why, because I had some in the refrigerator from work. And it was the district manager who did it. She's like, we don't have a problem with this, you know, better than wasting and stuff like that. And apparently people have a habit of, so apparently when you mess up an order, it's either like throw it away or take it home. And she's like, yeah, we found that a lot of people will purposely mess up an order though, just to be able to take it home. But then they said that the company started, or at least the stores, individual stores or whatever, started making the employees who do that, started making them pay for the subs, whether it be from their paychecks or whatever. I'm like, that's actually pretty clever. It's pretty clever. But yeah, if you mess up a sub or whatever, instead of throwing it away, it's like, yeah, take it home. But then people were doing it basically to get a free meal. So you'll notice that, you would see that some people are going in, messing up like 4 or 5 subs and taking them all home just to get a free meal. But then now things have changed to where it's like, oh, you want to mess it up? That's fine. You're going to have to pay for it, though. You're going to have to pay for it at full price, not that employee discount where like a foot long is like $8 normally and you get it for like 3 or 4. No, you're going to pay full price of it. So it really stopped people from messing up purposely to take things home. But yeah, like my first day there, it was like, yeah, here's a bag of subs. It was good. It was like cold cuts. It was roast beef, turkey. It was all pretty good. And then I had like this weird one. It was like, it looked like it was basically nothing but like peppers and black olives and banana peppers, and I think there was a little bit of meat on there, like roast beef or something. But it was so piled with all the smaller crap that it's like you couldn't even see the meat on it. It was like lettuce, banana peppers, black olives, some whatever else, but it was like in its own separate bag because of the jalapenos, because of the spiciness. It was, but yeah. So if you're ever gonna work in a place like that, know that if you're purposely messing up sandwiches just to take them home, you're gonna be charged for it. You're gonna have to pay for it, whether right then and there or through your paycheck. So, but yeah, the job's going good so far. Haven't got my first paycheck yet. It was paid every 2 weeks, so because I started like last week, I think it's probably this week, like today or tomorrow, or next week that I get paid my first paycheck. So, but it's not gonna make it to where I can just like start buying normal food again. I'll still probably be living off of ramen, but I can have subs every once in a while, at least while I'm at work. Or I can purposely mess one up, you know. But you're like, well, John, you just said, yeah. But if if it is a legitimate mistake, and you do legitimately accidentally mess it up, you can tell when someone's accidentally messing a sandwich or they accidentally did it compared to someone who's intentionally messing up. So if I was to accidentally mess it up and like, yeah, I'll take that home, they're not going to care. Now, if it happened several times a day, each day I worked, then yeah, that's kind of noticeable. But if it's during the lunchtime rush and you're trying to get 4 or 5 sandwiches made at one time and you accidentally mess one up, yeah, it's clear that was a mess up. If you're if you're making sandwiches at around 3 o'clock when no one else is in, you've got one person and they only want one sandwich and you mess that up, yeah, that's clear as day what you're trying to do. I mean, come on. Come on. During the rush, that's understandable. That's understandable. You've got a line out the door. You're making 4, 5, 6 subs at a time. If you're bound to mess up at some point, most likely. So it's not that big of a deal. But if it's after the rush, 2, 3 o'clock, no one's in the store, you're not getting any DoorDash orders. One person comes in to order one sub, and you make you like, whoopsie daisy, it looks like I messed this up. Yeah, it's obvious. It's freaking obvious. So, you know, you know. But yeah, yeah. But it's good so far. I mean, it's a job, and like I said, it only took me 5 months to find in this economy. Because despite the fact that things are, gas around here was what, close to $4 just like a month ago. Now it's down to about $2.50. So things are changing. It's just going to take a little time. The economy is still not great, and yet I still found in a small town, after being rejected of getting, like, I filled out an application at Papa John's. Little fact about me, one of my first jobs was a fucking pizzeria in New Jersey, and yet Papa John's emailed me saying that I don't have the requirements to work for them. The required qualifications. Bitch, my first job was a fucking pizzeria. So, all these jobs where it's like, where TJ Maxx just emailed me back like yesterday or something. Same thing. Oh, you don't have the required qualifications. Really? I don't have qualifications to work a fucking cash register? Really? Every one of my jobs has involved a cash register for the most part. You want to know what it is? They see that I've been a caterer, and they see that I've been a CNA. And I know this for a fact because when I worked at Ingles, the manager outright said she wasn't going to hire me because she saw that I had been a CNA. And it's like, well, why would you want to do this job when you could do that job? That's exactly the reason. Guarantee it. But little do they know, CNA's like $15 an hour. You have people at McDonald's making that much. So why me being a CNA would make any kind of difference? Maybe back in the day when people at McDonald's were still getting like $7.25. Nowadays they're getting like $15. But yeah. Papa John's turned me down, saying that I didn't have the required qualifications, despite that the first freaking job on my resume is a fucking pizzeria in New Jersey. When people say you can be overqualified, yeah, it's fully true. You can be overqualified for jobs. Now, if I was to take off the CNA and, it may help a little bit. I certainly don't want to take off the catering because catering, guess what? 17-hour days, working under pressure. It shows people, hey, this guy can work under pressure. And it was at SeaWorld. So guess what? I was dealing with thousands of people a day compared to a pizzeria where you might be dealing with 100 or so. But no, I didn't have the qualifications for freaking Papa John's, despite the fact that my first job was a pizzeria in New Jersey. And guess what we did there? As opposed to, just like pre-made everything. No, we made everything from scratch. I made the dough from hand, just from scratch. The water and the yeast and the salt, the flour, all of that into the big metal, and then I had to lift like 200, 300 pounds of that crap onto the table, get it out, get it cut up and measured. I shredded the cheese myself. I did the sauce myself. But no, I don't have the qualifications to work at a fucking Papa John's. Anyway, yep, just an update. People I'm sure, wondering how the job was going. it's going like a job, you know? It's a job. Anyway, that's going to do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.